If you're getting ready to enter the market in the Bend area here in some capacity as a purchaser and in the next 3 to 6 months, it is absolutely imperative that you know what's going on here in the more recent past here in the Bend market. Because right now, in the last 90 days, there has been a monumental shift as opposed to the way the seller approaches selling their home in comparison to, say, the last 6 to 12 to 24 months. Sure, the last 2 to 3 years has been relatively the same. It's felt kind of paralyzed and isolated, just stagnant. Not a lot going on because interest rates have remained so high. And most buyers are just waiting on the sidelines for that big day when somebody announces that interest rates are going to be 3% again or 4% again. And that's not going to happen anytime soon. But what we do know is that they've gone from 8% to 6%. And that's pretty darn good. And frankly, if you really zoomed out and looked at 6% from a 30-year or 40-year vantage point, it's below the 30 or 40-year average. And that's what most people don't really understand. There's people that have been waiting to buy real estate for 40 years that just never were able to do it because they were still waiting for a more perfect moment. Don't let that be you. Right now, there is a huge opportunity, and it's not necessarily with your interest rate, albeit it's still fine. Your interest rate is fine for what it is, and it could go down even further. You could refi later on, but the point is the opportunity right now in front of you is that there is little to no competition for those that are also looking to purchase real estate. Sellers have to sell. Sellers waited in 2023, they waited in 2024 and nothing changed. And now 2025 is almost done, and still nothing feels like it's changed that much from a seller's vantage point. But what's the difference? They have to sell now. They waited 2 extra years, but now they have to sell. And a lot of them are coming to more grips on reality. Like, I can't ask for, as a seller, for those prices dated back to, say, 2020 or 2021. That doesn't exist. They're now still trying to price it competitively, hoping to get as much bang for their buck as they can. But the reality is that they're still having to do what? They're having to be a little bit more lenient when it comes to how they entertain offers that come from buyers, because those offers are so few and far between. You, the buyer, right now have all the cards and all the chips on your side of the table. You control the terms. You can go look at a home. You can sleep on that home. You can come back a week later and maybe make an offer then, play that game a little bit, but you also have the power to walk away if that's a home that you're not married to. And frankly, there should be no home that you're married to. If there's one home that you could see yourself living in, there should be another two or three or four, especially in this market right now with such high volumes of inventory, as well as less competition for those homes that are on the market. Hey, if you guys are getting ready to jump into the market in some capacity, whether you're buying, whether you're selling, whether you're doing a combination of the two in the near future here in Central Oregon, and you don't have a realtor lined up yet, please reach out to me. We would love to be the ones that help you with that transaction, but it starts with you guys calling us or texting us. You can see the phone number right there. It's all across the channel as well. Give us a call or shoot us a text. We'll get that initial conversation on the calendar so then we can figure out what the next course of action should be pertaining to your real estate transaction. Thank you guys for watching these videos. And now on to today's content. If you're the buyer, you have a lot of leverage right now when it comes to negotiating. You can negotiate on price, of course. You can negotiate on when the closing date is. You can negotiate on, say, seller's credits. You can negotiate on a rate buy down even. You can negotiate on repairs after they come up in the inspection report. All those things are in your favor when it comes to being the buyer. Whereas 5 years ago, many of those things were not even an inkling of an idea or a thought when it came to trying to purchase a home because they just were not available to you. Now they are all on the table. You can ask for all of them and still be in the conversation. You might get them all. And there's been even extreme cases where, say, something came up in the inspection report that would cost 50 to 70 to $100,000 to repair, and it was something that became a non-negotiable for a buyer. And frankly, we just asked for it. And lo and behold, it was granted. Even though before that inspection report revealed the problem, it never would have been a consideration for that seller. What happens to these sellers? They have to reveal that information if they go back onto the market. So they might as well just keep that buyer on the line and hope that they can close in some capacity. That's what's going on right now. And that is the leverage that you, the buyer, has in this current state of the market. What's really interesting about the market right now over the last 90 days is that it seems like sellers are even more impatient in the last 3 months than they were, say, 6 months ago, or 12 months ago, or even 24 months ago. What really is the difference in the state of the market, other than the fact that it's just been ongoing for a longer period of time? I mean, the rates have been relatively high the entire time, and most people have a recency bias. Let me tell you a little story about this. In the last 90 days, 300 homes, single family homes in Bend, the city limits of Bend, have sold. Now, those original prices of those 300 homes, the median price was $775,000. 60 days is all it took. And that was the median days on market for these homes. They sold for 720,000 after 60 days of being on the market. So these sellers reduced on a median scale, median price reduction of $50,000 within a 60-day period of time. 60 days is actually relatively healthy. It's a sign of a neutral market, 60 days on market. But these sellers are becoming so impatient, waiting and waiting and waiting, knowing there's no buyers out there. You could be you. You could be the buyer right now. But there are buyers. A small percentage of them are taking full advantage of getting, say, 10% reductions on their homes within 60 days. And so that's the key right now for buyers. You go out and look at homes that have been sitting on the market for 30, 40, 50 days. All of a sudden, you have just built in, baked in leverage where you can go ask for a reduction in price. You can ask for the incentives, the seller to pay for these incentives, whether it's closing costs or it's a buy down or it's something else, repairs. All this stuff plays into your hand as a buyer right now. It's not going to be like this forever. This market will change at some point. Rates are going to continue to grind down slowly. I think our current administration is really lobbying for lower interest rates, say in the fives. We might see that here in the next 12 months or 24 months. We don't know for sure. We can't predict the future, but what we do know is that somebody in the White House right now is really lobbying for cheaper rates. We'll see if that actually happens here in 2026. But what you can control right now is right in front of you, and that's the fact that plenty of sellers are losing their patience. They don't want to take their home off the market. They want to have it sold right now and they want to be able to move on from it. And it's becoming very, very painful for a lot of them. And some of the more extreme cases, too, there are homes that are just silly, just really big homes are just very fit for a small percentage of purchasers that aren't even considering the buy right now. And there's homes that are sitting for 300 plus days. And sellers have just lost hope. I mean, they can certainly take their home off the market or they could reduce it significantly, but they still want to get a respectable number. And I understand that too. Represent a lot of sellers as well, and they need to get a certain number. And so they know the market isn't perfect right now. It could be a better state of the market for them. But the point is that at some point, maybe in a year, 2, 3 years, it could be a more favorable seller's market again. But they need to sell today. So if you're the buyer, come in and work with them. You can find a great deal that it's going to serve both sides. Because let's be honest, sellers still have, for the most part, a lot of equity in their home. And so they're not in a painful, desperate situation. They're in a situation where they want to sell, but they also don't want to give their home away. But they have a lot of equity, and that's something that bodes well for sellers. And so sellers still always kind of control the situation to a certain extent, but it's never been more favorable for buyers than right now. And so if you're even considering it, this is the time to at least take a plunge into the market to check it out and see what could happen, what you could get, what kind of deal could be presented to you by simply just choosing to enter the arena of real estate when the market conditions are less popular, but also the most favorable, because those people that see it right now are the ones that are really going to be benefiting and reaping the rewards in, say, 5 years when things are completely different and they're looking back saying to themselves, wow, that was such a good decision to purchase that home in that market. Because once rates come down, you can bet that a ton of people are going to be entering into the market, and that is only going to do one thing for prices. It's going to propel them back up again, because Bend is always going to be such a popular place to live. It's a relocation haven. There's people always trying to get to Bend, and they're coming. They're just coming in a smaller volume at a smaller pace right now, but it will ramp up again. And by then, it might be too late to really cash in on the opportunity that's in front of you. My name's Ryan. I'm a licensed broker with eXp Realty here in the state of Oregon. Thank you for watching as always. If it's your time to reach out, it starts with you. Let's just have the conversation. Give me a call or shoot me a text and let's just talk about your situation to see what the best course of action should be. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.